Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And we have come up with the next series of videos where we are going to build a basic YouTube of our own using cursor. So what is cursor? As you can see behind me, this is an AI code editor where you can write in plain English what you want to build and it will generate the code for you. And if you face an issue, you can just tell it to fix the issue and it will most likely fix it. And why I am able to tell you this? Because I have been using cursor for more than 3 months and it has been a game changer. And what I used to code in months before, I have been able to code in a day. So you can see the difference. Now it is so easy that you can tell it exactly like you tell chat gpt to do something for you, or you do a Google search to find something. You can just type it in plain English and you can build it. Now this will be a long series of videos because there are so many components that we have to build. As you can see on my screen that we have the login and sign up page, then we have to build a video upload, and then we have to list the videos on the home page as well as on the channel pages of a user, and then we have to build a video player where the video will play. Then we have to convert the videos that will be uploaded to streaming format so that there is no buffering when the video is being played. And then we have to build a search functionality and the search page where we show the results of the search functionality. And then we have to build the comment and like section on a videos, and then we will have an analytics page where a user will be able to see the number of views and the number of reach that it got. I think it will be very beneficial to understand how AI can do 90 to 95% of the work and we are only required to tell it. So if you have some expertise in development, it will be very easy for you. But if you don't have some expertise, you can actually go and talk to ChatGPT and understand what you want to build and what will be the steps that you want to feed in cursor, and you might actually be able to build it even if you are not a developer. It might take a few retries, but yeah, you will get a hang of it pretty quickly. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Now as you can see, I have already set up a basic Django application and a view app for front end, and we are going to build these steps. But first let's take a look at the starter project. So this is the view which is working fine, and this is Django which is installed correctly. And now we are going to ask cursor to remove the boilerplate code, and then we are going to uh, ask cursor to create email password without email verification because we don't need that here. We are building it for demo. So and then we are going to build a login and sign up page. We are going to build a home page similar to YouTube with video cards and use icons instead of images as video thumbnails. So basically this is the instruction that we are going to feed into cursor so that cursor will understand what to do clearly. And then there is handle session state so that user is redirected to login if not logged in and redirected to home if logged in. And then we are going to add a drop down with profile picture, just like the profile picture that comes in YouTube, and then there is a drop down and a bunch of options, but we are just going to have a sign out. Okay, and then on logout we have to redirect the user to the home page, not the login page. But on the home page, if the user is not logged in, there should be a login and sign up button. So you get the idea. Now we have already understood what we are going to do. Now let's open the composer. So for the composer you have to just do command I. Since this is a cursor editor, as you can see, you have to just do command I to open the composer. Now you can see the composer here. Alright, we are going to ask to remove the boilerplate code, but we also need to provide the context for the first time. And so we are just going to attach both these folders. One is the backend and one is the front end. So let's search for YouTube backend and front end. So we have attached it. Now we are going to paste this so that it can remove the boilerplate code. And now we are going to wait for a minute. Not for a minute, it will be pretty quick, hopefully. Okay, it has already detected from this unsaved files that we are going to build a YouTube clone. So it has made a bunch of changes. And now if we just go and look at it, everything seems to be working fine because we don't have an error here so far. Okay, this page is working correctly, and then here we just have written YouTube clone. So looks like it did it pretty well. Next we are just going to go and accept it, and then we are going to ask it to create an email, password, login and sign up API without email verification. And we are also going to ask it to add a JWT auth system so that it can generate a token which will be used in session management on the front end. So let's do that. We are just going to add and use JWT tokens for for authentication and session management. Let's paste it and see what it builds for us. Okay, now if you see, it is generating a bunch of code, but it also asks us to first install these required packages. So we will just go and install this. Meanwhile it will keep generating the code. So if we come here, it says there is no REST framework. That means we have to install it. So let's close this and just paste the install command here, and it will be able to install it. Now since we are done with the installation, let's run it. Okay, so it is working fine. Now if you see here, it says that you have to also create a new Django app, but if you go and look here, you will see that already an app is created here. So we don't have to actually run this command, and instead every folder that is there, we should have an init.py, but this authentication folder doesn't have a init.py. So we are just going to copy this. It's a blank folder, so just copy this and paste it here. So now we have auth init.py here as well. Alright, now if we go down, you will see some changes in the settings file, and then the serializers and the views and the URLs are done. Okay, so looks like most of the functionalities are done. Now we are going to accept it, but this is only the back end, not the front end. So we are now going to ask it to build a login and sign up page, and we can mention that it should be in view, and that's it, no integration and all. Okay, we have to ask about the integration, so we can just type it and refine our prompt and integrate it with the APIs. So we are just going to feed this in here, and let's see if it builds a login and sign up page. Okay, it is building, and meanwhile it asks us to install these two packages so that it can call the APIs. This is used for calling the APIs, and this is used for routing purposes to redirect the user to different pages in the front end. So let's go and install it. To install it, we have to install it in the front end. So we are just going to, okay, we don't have to copy both the commands. So let's remove the first command and then hit enter, and it should be able to install. Okay, it is installed now. So let's run our npm run dev, which runs the server. Okay, so it is ready now. Alright, if we go and look here, we have a YouTube clone, login sign up, and then there is a login page here, and we also have a sign up button. Alright, so looks pretty decent, but this doesn't look good at all. There is some refactoring needed, and we need to make it look better. So we are going to ask that later, but for now we are focused on mainly the functionalities. So let's go and see. There is a router setup here, and then there is the main.js, and then the API service, then there is navigation, and this is the main page, then there is the login page, and I'm sure there is a sign up page as well. All the pages are called view, and then there is a home page, and on the home page, if you see, it says welcome to YouTube clone. So if we go to the last prompt, it must have asked us to do some migrations. So let's go and look at that. Okay, it didn't ask us to build the migration, but we have to actually migrate our backend because That way it will be able to create tables in a database, and then only we'll be able to sign up or log in a user by saving the data in the database. So for that we have to run the migration, but let's accept this code. This looks pretty good. If we can also go to the sign up and check if it looks good. Okay, this looks pretty nice, but we don't want to have a sign up button here when we are on the sign up page, and login button here when we are on the login page, and this should look like YouTube instead of saying YouTube clone. So we'll do that later. Now let's accept it first and try logging in, but before that we have to actually do the migration so this works well. So let's uh, run the migration. Okay, the migration is done now. So let's do. All right, so looks like we are done with the migration. Now we are going to refresh this once. So let's sign up. I'm just going to give a username, and then we can put in any email ID because there is no email verification required. And then we are just going to say test123 test123, and we are going to, okay, it says that you have to give it a good password. So you can see it is pretty considerate in building these things. So we have to give a good password here. All right, let's try and log in. Okay, so I'm going to put in the password, and it took us to the login page when we are logged in. So you can see the issue where it should redirect to home page, but it redirected us to the login page again, but it shows logout here, right? So let's go and fix that, but I'm not going to write any code. I'm just going to ask it to fix that. Let's ask it to fix the redirection first. Okay, it's saying that let's create a store to manage authentication state. That is great. And so it is also adding some flags to let it know which one requires login. So this does not require login, but this requires a login. And then it will, because it is using Pinya, which is a store to save the data in the local storage, we might need to install Pinya. So let's do that. Here we have to install Pinya, and once it is done we are going to start the server again, and then we are going to check. Okay, we are on the home page now, and this looks pretty decent. It says welcome Ghazi and the email, but this can look pretty good. This doesn't look good at all, so let's ask it to do that. So for that, first we are going to build the home page. So, and we are also going to ask it to add a YouTube logo, add a textual YouTube logo, because we don't want to use any image for now. Similar looking design. So let's see if it does that. Okay, we have to wait for some time because this might take a few seconds, because as you know it is generating a lot of code. If you can see here, you will be able to understand this is building a lot of components. So let's go and look at that. Okay, this looks pretty good, but it actually didn't create video cards at all. So we have to ask it again to create the video cards. But first we are going to go ahead and provide this, but we are also going to add a top search, top bar with a search and a drop down functionality. So let's ask it to do that first, and we will keep adding fixes here because it didn't fix everything. All right, so looks like it is broken, so we have to wait until these changes are done, and then we will go and see. Okay, looks like this is broken. There is some icons that are missing, and it is not telling us what if we have to install something else. This means it ran into an issue. So we are just going to copy this and paste it here and ask it to fix the issue. Okay, it is asking us to install some things, so let's go and copy this and install it here. Okay, it is installed, so we can just run again. This looks pretty great, this looks pretty good. Okay, now let's click on sign out and see. It is doing pretty good on the sign out as well. That means the sign out functionality is already done, so we don't need this redirect to home. Oh, okay, on the sign out we are actually being redirected to the login page instead of the home page, but it should actually redirect us to home page and have a login and sign up button there. So let's go do that. So we have to actually modify the instruction that we are going to give to cursor, which is also called a prompt. But we are not actually into prompt, because prompt is kind of a design thing and it might take some time. We want to like write in plain English, so let's write in plain English and see if it is able to help us build what we want. So we are just going to ask it on sign out redirect to home page instead of login page, and show a login and sign up button, sign up in the drop down instead of sign out. On the login page, add a profile drop down with sign up option, and similarly on the sign up page add a drop down with sign with login option. Okay, so we are going to ask it to do these two things. Let's run the seventh one here and see if it actually fixes our issue. So it says I'll help you modify. We are going to accept it, and let's see, first we have to log in and then test it. So let's log in. Okay, we are here now. If we sign out, we are redirected to this, but it will take us to log in or sign up, and this will take, okay, this logo whenever clicked it should take us to home page, so that should also be an instruction. So let's go and add that. Whenever the logo is clicked, redirect to home page. Okay, we don't need all these, so let's try the eighth option first and then see if it actually fixes our issue. We might need to wait for a minute, but yeah, mostly it is done in a minute. So let's go and see that. We have to ask it to move it to the top bar, so let's go and do that. But before that, let's ask it to actually fix the logo, and meanwhile we are going to add the 10th one. Add the profile drop down on on login and sign up to the top bar, and remove the back to home page option. Okay, so let's see if the logo was fixed. So if we click the logo, it still doesn't work. We'll come back to that later. Let's go and try to run this 10th one. Mostly it understood the issue, so it is saying that we are going to add it to the top bar. Okay, this looks pretty neat if you ask me. So that means it has fixed the issue. Now if we go here, sign in, create account goes here, sign in goes here, and this YouTube is not fixed yet, so let's try and do that. Let's go and see if it is actually working inside. Okay, we are here, this is looking good, but when we are, these are not working because it's not supposed to work right now. Alright, this looks pretty good, but we want to fix one last thing, that is this logo, and we'll be done for this video. So let's go and do that. Okay, it is still on the sign out. It takes us to this page. This is a home page. Home page should have a icon as well, with the login and sign up. So let's ask it to do that. When user signs out on the home page, add a profile drop down with options instead of sign out. Yeah, this looks good. So let's copy paste this. Why is this working so weird? Word wrap. So let's go and do this. Okay, this will hopefully add a profile drop down instead of login and sign up button. So if you see, it says user menu already handles this, but let's make sure it's working correctly. Okay, so it is a little confused, but hopefully it will fix the issue. Okay, it actually made a bunch of changes, but this didn't fix the issue. Okay, it took us to login page. This is also, so if we go here, it is taking us to login page, which is weird because it shouldn't. So that means there is some issue in the redirection. So let's ask it to not do that. The home page should be public and should not redirect to login page. So this should be able to fix the issue. Let's ask it to. Okay, if you click here, now it is actually taking us to the home page. So this means this is working, but on the home page this buttons doesn't look good. So this is the last thing that we are going to fix. Remove the login and sign up button on the home page and add a profile drop down on top right in the navbar and add sign up and login options there. So this should be able to fix the issue. Okay, let's see if it actually identified the issue. Okay, it understood the issue. Look, if you look at it carefully, this is actually removing the buttons, and then in the user menu it must have added some stuff. So let's accept this and see. Okay, this looks pretty neat, and we are done with the first part of the series. So if we go sign in, we can sign in here, and this is looking pretty good. And then it signed in, we are able to go to the home page. Then we are going to sign out and it will sign us out, and then we can go and create another account. Let's call it whatever, John, and John at Gmail, and then password. Okay, so John is signed up. Now let's go and sign in using John. Okay, we are logged in. Alright, that's it for today, and we were able to build a pretty neat UI, and this is a solid foundation on which we are going to build in the next videos. And we got the sign in, sign out and sign up functionality knocked out. Now in the next video we are going to build a channel page, so user can create a channel and then user can upload a video, and then we are going to optimize the video upload, and we'll see how we can do that. And the last thing that we are going to do is we will list the videos in the channel page. So stay tuned, and if you liked this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. And if you have been thinking of building something, it is easier than ever to build a software using AI and some human help. And if you need any help, you can reach out to me. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye.